What's good, everybody? I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. I know we are here at the floor. First off, welcome in, everyone. If you haven't been here before, you guys are... Actually, if you have been here before, you guys know what we're doing. If you haven't been here before, this is the Monday night charting session. I go through my watch list from A to Z here and basically see what I'm liking and not liking for tomorrow and the rest of the week. But I do want to start off by going over the trades that we took today in the floor. And if you guys are not in the floor, I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. But first link in the description right there. Click that. You get a free 3-day trial. You come trade with us and test it out. See if you like it. And if you don't, then you can leave. And there's no strings attached. But anyways, we'll go ahead and get into it here. The first trade we took today was on Tesla. Unfortunately, the first trade of the day was a stop loss, but I think we managed it pretty well here. I was looking at this 449.90 resistance here on, I guess it doesn't really matter what time frame you're looking at it on, but it was from the after hours high on the 24th. I like this because we were lining up with a psychological level as well. And at the beginning of the day, Tesla was showing some nice strength compared to the market. Ended up being that Tesla was just kind of doing its own thing here, and the trade did not fully play out. We were like 2 cents off of my first target, but even then, the contracts that I played didn't move too much. I played the 450 calls, so first thing on a Monday, they're really not moving too much there. But either way, we got in here on this 932 candle, or actually, I take that back. We got in here on this 931 candle. On the 932 candle, we ended up getting a red to green, breaking through our resistance level, also breaking above 450. We ended up wicking this candle here at the high, though. What I really wanted to see was a relatively strong close of this candle where we were closing somewhere around 450.60 or 450.70. And then we could have had a nice red to green back off of this 449 level and saw a continuation through 451. But that is just unfortunately not what happened. We were holding 449.90 pretty well here for the next few candles, but I ended up stopping out on this at 936. So 936 is when I ended up taking my stop on this. And the main reason for that is because what we were doing at this point in time, Tesla was on a very, very thin line between either doing what we need it to do or tanking $3 out of nowhere. And that ended up happening here very soon after we ended up getting out of that. So really all we did was save ourselves some time and save ourselves some money with that stop loss. And I believe that stop loss ended up being about 9% for me, which if you trade options, you know that 9% really is not too bad on that. The next trade we ended up taking was on, where is it here? Wait, what did we even take today? I don't know what. I didn't fully signal the next trade we took. We took Google. I don't know why I just blanked on what we took. Wow. Anyways, Google was making its way up here while the market was kind of pushing, but also Google pretty much separated itself from the market here around 944, 945. And Google was really just doing its own thing. I was a little worried about the entry on this just because it is overall a pretty extended move for something like Google, but Google is one of those stocks that can either get really aggressive or it can just slowly grind. And pretty much when we got in, it was the pretty clean, slow grind on this play. So we ended up taking this here at 946, and we saw a pretty clean grind up here where I ended up taking off 3/4 of my position here at 251. I wanted to see 251.50 for my final target on this. The rest of my contracts, I ended up getting out here at 957 for about 5% gain on those. But overall, we ended up making back everything and more from the original meta trade. So even if you took it with the same size, you should have at the very least been break even. Actually, if you took it with the same size, you should have been green. But if you took it with less size than the first trade, but still within that same range, you should have been at least break even or very, very, very small red on the day. So obviously not the most perfect way to start the week. We clearly would rather have a one and done green trade, but that's just not how it works all the time. And especially in this market right now, starting off the week green is okay with me. So either way, yeah. So once again, could have been cleaner, could have had a one and done. If we got the opportunity, obviously that's what we'd prefer, but that's not always how it works. So I think we did the best we could with what we had there. But we'll go ahead and get into the watch list here and start making my watch list for tomorrow. I'm going to go through my watch list first and find the levels that I like. And then after that, come back and create the actual watch list itself. So if I skip through these pretty quickly, it's because I'm not seeing anything that I like. But as soon as I see something, I will go a little bit more in depth here. Amazon is interesting to me, but Amazon just seems that it does not have the moves that we need during the market hours. Like all the moves that Amazon has, I feel like it happens pre-market and after hours. Pretty much every time I have something on Amazon, it just tends to line up after hours. So 223 doesn't look like a bad level for Amazon, but I don't even know that I'm going to add that to the watch list just because I genuinely don't have that much confidence that it's going to actually happen during trading hours. AVGO here looks fantastic to the downside though. 327.30, this looks beautiful on the larger time frames. Let's see. Yeah, we could even take low of day from today into that 327.30 level, target 327, and then below that, I think we have a ton of room down on this, right? Yeah, we have a 1 year gap that gives us room all the way down to like 307. So we've got a ton of room on the 1 year, 1 day. I honestly, I don't think we would need any more than 326 on this, to be honest with you guys, and that should be a pretty easy move for AVGO to make at a level like this. So I do really like AVGO. Need to unmark Apple and ARM, but AVGO is looking good. By the way, for anybody in here, if you have something that you want me to take a look at, just throw the stock and the level in the live chat over here, and I am happy to check it out. This most likely is going to be a pretty quick charting session just because based on what I saw today, I don't know that we're going to have a whole lot for tomorrow. Coin is okay, but it's not great. I would like to see some better looking setups than that. Same with Circle here. It's man. Let's see. Crowd at 490.77 is not the worst thing I've ever seen. If we get aggressive into that, we should be able to see overall a nice recovery on the larger time frames. I would give this pretty easy room up to 495. And also, even if we can't get that 490.77 entry, 495 looks good as well. So as long as crowd has contract volume, I do like that. CRWV to the downside, same thing that I've had for quite a while now, but I do like this 119.50 a lot on CRWV. So that's going to stay. EDOG, this thing grinded up all day today. Yeah, I don't think that there's anything there for me though is the problem. Disney's chart is absolutely horrendous. If you go down on any smaller time frame, it looks horrible. Google downside looks pretty solid as well. Google at 242.22, or I'm sorry, 242.77. Here we go. Yeah, that looks good. That's the low of day from today, but 240.74 looks really good as well. So once again, if we can't get that entry, then this 240.74 looks great too. Could absolutely rip today. Let's see. This is new all-time highs, right? Yeah. Wow. The only problem with this is all we really have to look at is the after hours high. And I think we're probably going to need a bigger pullback on this to see another major move up. So I'll mark hood, and it's going to go on the side watch, and I'm not going to write out a full idea for it just because right now we don't have a ton to go off of, but it's going to go on the side watch just to make sure that I definitely look at it in the morning. Meta kind of in a messy area here. We're still hovering between these levels we were fighting with on Friday, which, by the way, if you guys weren't there on Friday, Friday was an absolute banger of a day. Between the first entry and the final sell, it was 106% on Meta, so it was a nice way to end the week there. MSTR. No. Not a fan. Like Marvel 85.27. Kev, I will check that out. 85.27. Is that the high from today, or is that the high from here? It's 85.36 is the high on the 4 hour. If I was looking at Marvel, I would be looking at that 85.36. Now, as far as if I would look at it or not, I would need to see what we look like while we're approaching this level. Right now, I'm not going to put it on the watch list because it looks like we are most likely going to be... It looks like it's easier to continue to the downside here than it is to move up from where we're at right now. But let's say in the morning we do move back up closer to that area. I need to see how we set up pre-market, and then that will tell me whether I'd be interested or not. As it stands right now, I'm not too interested in that level. I'm also not interested in NVIDIA. You guys, I know somebody was talking about NVIDIA today in the chat, and I literally said, oh wait, no, somebody said they missed their entry at NVIDIA high of day, and I said, if there's anywhere for NVIDIA to reject, it is gonna be here. I guess we ended up rejecting and then continued rejecting, and then moving back down. That's insane. Yeah, this is exactly why I did not look at NVIDIA this morning. I know somebody was asking about it. Some people were asking about it. I don't know. But either way, that is exactly why I was not looking at NVIDIA. Oh, was it you? Wait, who is that? Gen Z Mindset. Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, Sebastian. Yeah, that's exactly why I was not looking at NVIDIA. This thing has just been, every single time we've been getting into that area, it's been rejecting like crazy. Let's see here. Oracle. I mean, we've got a level, kind of, but it just does not look aggressive enough for me to be interested here. It's way too sideways right now for my liking. Now, whenever we do get the break, I'm sure it'll break nicely, but I don't like playing with stuff that's in a medium-sized consolidation range. Anything that is bigger than a small consolidation range, I don't like messing with, because it's just so easy for them to bring that back into the consolidation. Like, same thing on PLTR right here. This is a big consolidation range, but overall, all we're doing is moving sideways. So there's zero part of me that wants to touch anything on PLTR until we get out of this consolidation range, because there's just no reason for me to expect clean price action or expect clean movement. I mean, looking at this, the only thing that I can possibly expect is that we may see a break to one direction, but we're most likely going to fake it out and come right back to where we were before. So kind of the same story with this consolidation we've got on Oracle here. Now, yes, it is way smaller than PLTR's consolidation, but still we're looking at a $5 consolidation range. It's just super, super easy for them to pull this back into the consolidation and stop us out. So whenever I can avoid looking at stuff like that, I do. Because overall, yeah, you might not be taking a trade and you might want to take a trade and all that, and that's great, but it's saving everybody money in the long run. Roblox 142 kind of looks the same as Oracle, to be honest with you. I mean, it is bull flagging, but let's see. Contract volume on this is not too hot. The setup doesn't look horrible. It's more about the contract volume than anything with this. And I'm going to give you guys a quick tip and say, when you're charting, it is way better to look at these things, unfortunately, from a bit of a pessimistic view. Because if you're trying to find reasons to take a trade, usually the setup is not very good. So the more you can look at why shouldn't I take this, first of all, the less trade ideas you're going to end up having. So you're going to have a freer head when you're actually live in the market. And second of all, you're not going to be trying to take every single thing just for whatever reason you've justified. If something doesn't look very good, just don't put it on the list. Don't look at it. If you have to try and find reasons to take it, it's probably not a very good trade to be taking. Which is exactly why I'm going to go ahead and say that I am removing coin from the watch. I don't think that this is something that I'm actually going to be interested in by the time it gets here. So with that being said, I would rather talk myself out of taking this than try and find a way to make it look as good as I want it to. Let's see. Took hood at 10:01, sold half at 10:25, and the rest at 10:33. Should have looked at the 1 hour beforehand, because at 1:30 there was a lot of momentum. Let's see. 10:01. My question for you is, what made you take that at 10:01? There's like almost no reason for entry here. I'm glad you caught it. I'm glad you caught the move. I'm glad it went in your direction, but honestly, looking at it, there's not much of a reason to actually take that position. At least for my style of trading. Let's see. AVGO. Alright, yeah. So I pulled back and took the red to green because of how strong it was. Okay, gotcha. Got you. Let's see. AVGO looking at the 327.55 low of day for entry. Playing this through the 1 hour support at 327.30. Targeting a move down to 326. Now let's see if there are any trends here to be paying attention to. Okay, we don't have any trends lining up until 324. Okay. All right, perfect. AVGO. Looking at the 327.55 low of day for entry. Playing this through the 1 hour support at 327.30. Targeting a move down to 326. Below this, we have room down to the 5-minute trend at 324.71. Overall, the gap on the 1 year gives us room down to around the 307 area. Let me fact check that real quick. I believe it was, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think AVGO has a lot of potential right now. From everything I've looked at, AVGO is probably my favorite, and Crowd is actually my second favorite. So that's cool. Crowd looks like it's setting up for a nice recovery play. So that's the main reason I like this. Move up to, let me see here, 3. All right, Crowd looking to take this as a recovery play on the larger time frames. Looking at the 490.77 resistance for entry, targeting a move up to 493. Then our next resistance break at 495 for my final target. Easy. And we got to slow down a little bit. We're like 20, well, we're 26 minutes in, but we're probably actually about 20 minutes into the charting session, and I'm almost done. CRWV, I am just going to copy and paste from today because it is exactly the same. But CRWV, once again, I am looking at this 119.50 support for my entry. Targeting a move down to the next support at 118.20. Then we have room all the way down to our next major level at 114.57. Between then and there, though, we have a 1 hour trend. Move to the next support, 118.20. 117.05. Then we have room. Okay. Perfect. Moving on. Google, which once again, the ticker for this is GOOGL, not GOOG. So if you're looking at GOOG, it's going to look different. Google looking at the 242.77 low of day / H pattern for entry, targeting a move below 242, then the break of our 1 hour support at 240.74. You could take this as, well, actually, not you could. I will there is a possibility I will be taking this as 2 separate trades depending on the momentum we are seeing throughout this move. Beautiful. Okay, here we go. If I take this as 2 separate trades, I will be targeting the break below 240 for my final target. Nice, there we go. All right, Hood is gonna go on a side watch here. Hood made new all-time high. Check pre-market for setup. Easy. Meta, I believe I didn't have anything on Meta. Actually, that's everything I had. Damn. I didn't have anything on Tesla either. Yeah, wow. Okay. Well, this is the whole watch list, I guess. AVGO's downside. Crowd is upside. Google is downside. CRWV is downside. And Hood is upside, but I'm not coloring it yet because we don't have a full plan on that. Wow. I guess I didn't realize we were that close to being done. But that is the watch list that I've got for tomorrow. I really honestly don't see anything else that's worth looking at for me. If you guys want to, we have plenty of time left in the lesson. So if you guys want to turn this into a Q&A session, I'm more than happy to stick around as long as you'd like for me to answer your guys' questions. So I will give you guys just a minute here. And if we've got any questions, like I said, happy to stay around and answer those for the remainder of the lesson. But I am going to leave this up on the screen. So if you're not in the floor, make sure you screenshot this and you can plot all these levels out and use this to the best advantage that you can. And if you are in the floor, it's going to be in the stocks chat before the lesson is over. So I will give you guys just a minute here to create any questions you might have, whether it's about the watch list or trading in general. Does not really matter, but yeah. All right. We really don't have any questions. Not one question out of anybody in here. Nobody's curious about anything. Because I feel like that's not the case. All right, guys. Well, if we don't have any questions, then I am going to plug the Discord one more time. If you guys are not in the Discord and you want to trade live with me and the team, click that first link in the description. I have. Click that first link in the description. Get your free 3-day trial. Use it. It's there. It's free. If you don't like me and you don't want to listen to my voice, then you can leave with no strings attached. And we wish you the best. But either way, if we have no questions before we wrap this up, I will see all you guys in the floor first thing in the morning at 9 a.m. for pre-market review. I appreciate you guys sticking around, and I will talk to you then.